بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wanted to welcome you all here once again to virtual Masjid Al-Farooq, to our weeknight program, which starts every Monday to Friday, 7:30 inshallah. Please keep in mind Saturdays and Sundays will be at 7 p.m. inshallah. So we're pleased to have with us Sheikh Abu Shahada. You know him well, but just once again, Sheikh Abu Shahada accepted Islam in 1991, alhamdulillah. And he is the founder of Muslim Youth Media. And since he accepted Islam, alhamdulillah, he's been very active in the Muslim community and giving da'wah and doing Islamic work. So it's a pleasure to have him. His topic today until 8 o'clock is seeing is believing, but believing is seeing. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Sheikh Abu Shahada. Jazakumullah khair.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. 2020. We're in 2020, the year of the virus. Alhamdulillah, we're still here, brothers and sisters. Allah has allowed us to live and to be able to catch this month, the blessed month of Ramadan. So inshallah ta'ala, I wanted to share with the brothers and sisters an ayah. And inshallah ta'ala, we're going to go back to our Shaykh Abdul Rahman As-Sa'di, or some say As-Sa'di, in his beautiful book called Taysir al-Karim al-Rahman fi Tafsir al-Kalam al-Manan. It is the facility of the most noble, the most beneficent in the commentary of the words of the most benevolent. So before we begin the lecture, inshallah ta'ala, we want to talk about seeing is believing, but definitely believing it is seeing. And what I mean by that before we get into the ayah is many of the youth nowadays, they talk about how good LeBron James is as a player. He can dunk the ball, he can shoot the ball, he can play defense, he can do this, he can do that. And some of the older people from my generation, they say, yeah, but you never seen Jordan play. You never seen Jordan shoot. You never seen Jordan dunk. And then there's either older people like my uncle who say, yeah, but you never seen Kareem play. So seeing is believing and believing is seeing. So when you look, you see that believing is knowing and knowing beats unknowing and the unknown. So it's good to know something. We want to talk about the reward of faith is to see what you believe. So this is all based upon the ayah, and we're going to use a part of it, O Rabbi Urini Kaifa, where Ibrahim alayhi salatu taslim, he said to Allah, my Lord, show me how. Show me how. And there used to be a very famous movie back in the day. The name of the movie is Jerry Maguire. And the guy used to keep saying to the guy, his agent, show me the money. Don't tell me you're going to get me a big contract. Show me the money. Proof is in the pudding. You say that your food is better than mine? Then show me. Let me see. Let me sample. They say the proof is in the pudding. So breaking it down, we're looking at a shahada. I testify. I bear witness. The shahood, I saw it. This is what we're talking about. So this is a very special thing that Allah Ta'ala, He let Ibrahim alayhi salatu taslim see. And many of us, they may ask, well, how come we don't get to see that? Because Allah Ta'ala says, tu'ti mulka min tasha'u wa tanzi'u mulka min tasha'u wa tu'izzu min tasha'u wa tadillu min tasha'u. He gives of His kingdom to whomever He pleases, and He prevents His kingdom to reach whomever He pleases. And He grants honor and respect to whomever He pleases, and He abases and humiliates whoever He pleases. Chapter 3, verse 26, talking about the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu taslim. So from this, brothers and sisters, before we move into it, we just want to say that everybody can bake a chocolate chip cookie except for maybe Muhammad Qadi. We know he's an engineer, but we don't know if he's going to follow the perfect recipe. So as you know, if you want to make chocolate chip cookies, you're going to need all the ingredients. You're going to need the chocolate chips. You're going to need some eggs, probably some milk, maybe some butter. But also you have to have the right measurement of everything, and you have to turn the oven up to the exact amount. So everybody can follow a recipe, or can they? So this is what this all comes down to. It comes to the discussion of the heart. It comes to the discussion of the experiment, because we know the heart, muqallab, it flips back and forth. This is the discussion that's going to go on. Flipping back and forth, upside and down, talking about the place of cognitive and perception. It's kind of deep and kind of, I say, sophisticated, but we want to talk about the issue of that we're going to bring this ayah, life and death, and how Ibrahim, alayhi salatu taslim, he wanted to understand. So let's read the ayah in Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala, he goes on to say, and this is in chapter 2, this is in verse number 260. قال الله تعالى وإذا قال إبراهيم ربي أريني كيف تحيي الموتى قال أولم تؤمن قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي قال فخذ 4 من الطير فصرحن إليك ثم أجعل على كل جبل منهن جزءا ثم أدعوهن يأتينك سيعا وَعْلَمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ الْحَكِيمٌ. Remember when Ibrahim, who was the Khalil of Allah, he said, "Oh my Lord, show me how you give life to the dead." He said, "Do you not believe? Do you not believe?" He said, "Yes, but I ask so that my heart may be at peace." Allah said, instructing him, "Take 4 birds and tame them to your call. Then after, I want you to slaughter them and put portions of them on each different mountain or each different hill. Afterwards, call them, and they will come to you in a haste. Know that Allah, He is the Almighty, the All-Wise." So here you have the theory, and then you have the application. So Sheikh Asadi, he goes on to say, within this verse are some great physical signs of Allah's ability to resurrect the dead in order to recompense them for their deeds. Allah informs us about his Khalil, his special friend Ibrahim alayhi salatu taslim, who made a request to Allah to show him how the dead will be resurrected. Ibrahim already had complete faith in the resurrection, concerning which Allah had already related to him. However, he had a desire to see this happen with his own eyes, so that he may attain the stature of the most perfect faith, that is a term in true conviction, what is known as Ayn al-Yaqeen, to see it with your eyes, and also the talking of the Kamil al-Iman, complete Iman. So we know that this is a stepping stone that he's going through. He's learning, his Iman is going up, and he's asking Allah, I need to see this. So Sheikh, he goes on to say, for this reason, Allah said to him, do you not believe? He said, yes, but I ask so that my heart may be at peace. This is due to the fact that the coming of such proofs, one after another, what we talked about earlier, the stair-step knowledge, proof after proof after proof after proof, one after another, what will it do? The Shaykh goes on to say, it'll increase a person's faith and thus cause his faith and his belief to attain perfection. People who seek knowledge are always in pursuit of attaining this stature. So Allah told him, now Allah gave him an instruction to do something. Take 4 birds and tame them to your call, so that everything will occur through his own hands. So he's doing this tadriba. He's doing this hands-on training. Allah made him do some hands-on training. Then call them. They will come to you in haste. That is, they will become fully resurrected and will hasten to the running and flying with full force. Ibrahim, alayhi, he did exactly as he was ordered, and he was told, and he fulfilled his desire of witnessing how the dead will be resurrected. This issue is also included in the kingdom of heavens and the earth, And this is another story, inshallah ta'ala. So looking at this, brothers and sisters, we want to discuss the issue of the scientific experiment. Now, many of us, we were in high school. I myself personally, I dissected a frog, I dissected a pig, I dissected a cat, I dissected bugs while I was in high school. And for many of those that don't know, while I was in science class, most of the time when the teacher was talking, I was sleeping. But when it came to doing the hands-on things, I did really good. So I ended up getting a 72% in my grade 12 year in science class. And my science teacher said, Mr. Foster, had you paid more attention, you would probably be one of the best students. But the problem was the theory only. The teacher didn't inculcate and show to us from the beginning of the year the importance of the hands-on training. So, but the question is by using your hands. As we know also, two brothers and sisters, that our religion is a religion of not only saying, but doing. And this is also an example of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he actually rolled up his sleeves and he actually physically got down with the rest of the Muslims and he built the masjid with his own hand. He physically went out to the battlefield and he was out there, hands-on training. So many of us these days, as we know, there's many social experiments where you can see things happening on Facebook or on YouTube. Someone will ask a bunch of questions and they can see how people look at the information. So this whole thing comes down to the doubts that come into the heart, as we know of the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where we're encouraged to say, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Oh, the changer of hearts, change my heart to your faith. So the heart, mutalaqbat, it flips back and it flips back and forth. It goes upside down, all around. So seeing is believing, but believing is seeing. So we're going to, inshallah ta'ala, look more into the situation where we find that seeing with the eyes can sometimes be also seeing with the heart. And we know there's some people, they don't have any eyes, but they see with the heart. Signs and the miracles. This is from the miracles of Allah, the mu'ajizah. So from this, we look at the issue of Allah. He talks about his personal friend, Al-Khalilullah, Ibrahim alayhi salatu taslim. He also gives him and he shows him the physical signs and the wonders, the mu'ajizah of Allah, the power and the ability of Allah Azza wa Jal, that he gives life from the dead or from death back to life. Also, Ibrahim, he asked Allah, he asked him, show me. Rabbi urini kaifa. Oh my Lord, show me. Abraham has his faith tested and he asks a question. And then he asks that he can witness to see this. So the question comes back now. Have you seen Michael Jordan dunk the ball? Have you seen Kareem dunk the ball? Have you seen LeBron dunk the ball? Have you seen me dunk the ball? How do you know who's really the best? Just because someone is 6'7", 6'8", 7 feet tall, maybe they can't dunk better than me. Maybe I'm a better dunker than them on a 9-foot net. This is the problem. I'm not as tall as them. So maybe if we put the net down to 9, you'll see that I'm actually better than them. But nobody really cares about that. So we want to talk about Ayn al-Yaqeen. And this is the topic that is within a topic within itself. In Surah Takathur, Allah Ta'ala says, ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. Allah Ta'ala, he talks about, brothers and sisters, about seeing things with your own eye, the vision of certainty. So this is what is mentioned, the Shaykh, he brings in this verse, is that to actually look at the situation. And as we know, the scholars, they break it down into 3 maratib, 3 levels. Ilm al-Yaqeen, the knowledge of certainty, which is for another day. Ayn al-Yaqeen is what we're talking about today, the eye of certainty. And number 3, Haqq al-Yaqeen is extremely, extremely important. So when we look at the situation, we want to talk about the issue that is mentioned here to distinguish, because Allah, he used this word in here, he used the word heart. And as we know, for those who study the Arabic language, there's many different descriptions, many different terminology. So there is a differentiating thing, and as I did a little bit of research today, there is some difference between the word qalb, fu'ad, and sudur. So we all know that as for the heart, it's a very special word. And the scholars, they went on to say that the qalb, it is a general word. The heart, it turns upside down. Hearts are constantly changing. This is the actual normal state when Allah refers to iman and the diseases, the amrad al-qulub. One of the greatest miracles that he left, brothers and sisters, is this book here. This book here is with us now. It is a miracle. In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the people, they had it in their hearts. And because Islam started to spread, they decided to put it in book form. So now we can see it. So seeing is believing and believing is seeing. So now let's go back now to these other words. Fu'ad. قال الله تعالى إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك عنه مسؤولا. So this word here, fu'ad, indeed the hearing, the sight, and the heart, they translate this word fu'ad as the heart, it all will be questioned. So fu'ad, the linguistics, they go on to say fu'ad is the verb fa'ada, meaning a burning flame. Lahman fa'id means a roasted piece of meat on fire. Fu'ad is used when the heart is inflamed with emotions, hamasa. Emotions like saying in the heat of the moment when I got mad, I slapped down the water and I got mad and my heart started to boil. So fu'ad is used when engrossed in emotion, happiness, sadness, lust, frustration, and anger. This is chapter 28, verse 10, where Allah Ta'ala goes on to say, وَأَصْبَحَ فُعَادُ Musa farigan, that verily Musa's heart could come to rest in ease. Why? Because her son was taken away from her and brought back to her. So also sudur, ya ikhwan, it also means heart. But Allah Ta'ala, he uses the word alladina yuwaswisu fi suduri nas. As we know this verse, everybody recites it. So this word meaning in the chest, or some translations say the breast. It alludes, Allah, he alludes to motivates or the secrets that he uses in the sadr, because it gives the illusion of literal, a treasure chest, that it is locked deep within, something hidden, something boxed up. So knowing all these things, brothers and sisters, we're coming to a point now where I'm having some issue here with some things popping up, inshallah. Sorry for that disruption. Yes, so we're coming back, inshallah ta'ala, to the fu'ad, the sadr, and the qalb. So each time that you come across those different verses where those different things are mentioned, there is a deep science, the issues of the amrad al-qulub and all the diseases and all those different things on how to fix the heart. But the heart is in different stages, and there's so many different types of hearts. So today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we're talking about Ayn al-Yaqeen. Now, many people, they have said that they've told me that their food is the best food in the world. And I've had many different cuisines. I've eaten Nigerian food, I've eaten Mexican food, Arab food, Caribbean food, West African food, Southeast Asian food, and so many other foods. I've had more than 31 flavors at Baskin and Robbins. I've traveled to many different cities, and everybody says what they have is the best. And I say, forget about the rest, put everything to test. Go and see it with your own eyes. You have senses. You have the eyes, you have the nose, you have the mouth, you have the ears, you have the touch. So to be honest with you, brothers and sisters, over the last few years, my heart has become very damaged. I've had some different problems in my life recently, and I was kind of actually moving away from the Book of Allah. I was actually not reading it as much as I used to, and it was hurting my heart so much so that when I actually went to West Northern Africa, I actually fell in love back with the Quran, with what is known as the Kufic script. And it actually amazed me, because trying to read from this book is much more difficult because we're not trained. But seeing the khat, how it is, I fell in love with, again, the Quran because of the beauty of how it was written. And for many of those, maybe they haven't seen the West African script, it's a little bit harder. I personally believe that this is much more beautiful. And I had a chance to see little kids 10 years old writing like in the past with a piece of paper. And in the old days, they used to write with a low, and they used to write the whole thing, and then the sheikh would correct the writing. So I can see that when we're reading the Quran over here in the West, and as you know, that's a very old traditional way. We read like this and we memorize a little bit like this. Maybe we'll hear Sudais or Shuraim or one of the other scholars read the book of Allah, and we'll try to benefit and we'll recite along with them. And that's good and it's beneficial and all that. But to actually see our young brothers take the mushaf like this and to write it down and to write it down on the paper so it's etched in the hearts and in the mind. It is something, brothers, it took me back in a little bit of time, because I actually had a chance to go to one of the oldest universities while I was in Fez to just observe what was going on there. And we got a tour, and one of the leaders said that before you can even step into this particular university, you have to have already memorized the book of Allah. And when they say that they memorize the book of Allah, they don't mean that they just memorized it like we do here in the West. They mean that they memorized it by writing out the whole Quran. And you'll find little boys that are 10, they become men in their 90s. You can check their memory, mutqin, exact and precise. So my dear brothers and sisters, we're now living in a time now that this book here, it has become very important to us once again. Unfortunately, only once a year, this book, many people, they value it. This is a book that's supposed to be valued every single day. And if you give yourself a little bit of the time for this book, you're going to get a few gems. As I was researching through this book on tafsir, and I was going through the different verses and ayat, I kept saying, that's too deep. I need to research that some more. I don't know, I might have to look at some more tafsir. But when I was reading it, one small ayah and the amount of information, and then I started to build upon that, and I have 6, 7 different pieces of sheets in front of me, and I'm just basically just tipping the iceberg of the information. I didn't go deep into ilm al-yaqeen. I didn't go deep into ayn al-yaqeen. I didn't go deep into haqq al-yaqeen. But now the question comes now, what about the different types of hearts that we started about? Knowledge, brothers, it is very vast. Sisters, knowledge is very vast. Let us just try to get the basics down, try to learn about Iman. As many of us, maybe we don't know that Iman, it is qawl bil lisan. It is tasdiq bil qalb. It is amal bil jawari. It is a belief on the tongue. It is firmly accepted and cemented in the heart, and it is actions upon the limbs. So we are not people who just say that we believe in Allah, but we also do the actions that make us believe in Allah. And this is based upon one of the hadith, and there's many. من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره باليد فإن يستطيع فبلسانه فإن يستطيع فبقلبه وذلك الأضعف الإيمان. That if you see something wrong, then what are you supposed to do? Say something or stop it with your hand if you can. Actually physically stop it. If you can't do that, then you should speak something out against it. And if you can't do that, then you should hate it in your heart. And this is the lowest form of Iman. So it is a form of Iman to believe it in the heart. So actions become deeds, brothers and sisters. So with that, we're coming now to 5 minutes left. If there's any questions, wa akhira da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Seeing is believing, and believing is seeing. We're talking about the beautiful tafsir of Quran from Abdul Rahman and Nasir as-Sa'di, and we brought the ayah today talking about Ibrahim alayhi salatu taslim asking his Lord tabarak ta'ala, Rabbi urini kayfa, my Lord, show me how. Jazakumullah khair. Any questions?